Alright all, welcome back to the next episode for my Let's Learn series where we're basically going to go to the Farportal a little bit more. So to recall from last episode, I basically have started to enter the Exploratory Farportal in the Maj'Eyal fortress. The purpose for entering the Exploratory Farportal at this point is to level up, much like it was, the first time around in the last episode. My ultimate goal is to get up to level 47 or level 48, also. And the reason for trying to get my character up these levels is just for a simple reason that in the final level, I basically am going on a one-way trip. I can't backtrack or anything. I want to make sure I'm at least a certain level before I basically enter it, or else when I enter it, I'm basically I might get stomped at the boss because I won't be high enough level to fight him. Oh, there's a summoning alarm there. Apparently I didn't see. Alright, for this Exploratory Farportal Taser, we've got lots of fireworms apparently. I see 3 Orc Necromancers, so obviously they're going to be part of the theme of this dungeon. There's a Blood Mage over there. So, Bloodcaster type Orcs, Spellcaster type Orcs, fireworms. I see a couple undead. Interesting setup. We got pinned by a giant gravity worm here. Apparently my hotbar was gone for a moment. I realized I could just cure that, but I bother. I'll hit the summoning alarm just to pop out the guys. There's an Uverus, I'm not sure. Apparently I have a couple kills from these guys, but nothing special type of demons. I'll note, by the way, that I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to demon type enemies in the final dungeon. They'll actually get a little bit more nobly powerful there. And I will actually have to pay attention to them because they'll be so powerful. But until we get up to them, we'll just wait a little bit. Yoink. I will rush a little bit. Apparently this a true alarm is a pressure type trap, so it won't go off unless I take off my Ferris Steel amulet, which I won't. Doink. Alright, there's the first level more or less cleared out. Yeah, it's cleared out. On to the next one. So note that this level, there's that little arrow for a staircase. Sometimes in these sort of dungeons, you'll get that. Basically, that's not next to a wall. It's in the middle. It's basically this level design, I guess, is kind of like the Brag's Lair one, where it's just lots of spiral or skizzling caves. But the level's entrances and exits could be anywhere. They're not on the wall, so basically that's why the exits not in the wall, to sort of point that out. Don't need any of that stuff, so we'll push on. We got ourselves a doomed worm right next to us, so I want to be sort of careful of him. We're just going to burst up speed, activate this, activate this, activate this. I should probably take off the that barrier until we actually put it back on. The cloak, I don't have it on right now. Do this, and apparently I got frozen. Except from this, panicked. Panic just makes me run away from the doomed enemy that panicked me, but I already killed him, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, there's a summoning alarm. A few multi-hue dragons. There's a Naga popping out there, but who cares? Probably a good time to use track to see what's going on in this level. So over here it looks like there's most of these enemies. There's a rare ant over there, and then a bunch more, you know, orcs and dragon type enemies. A few guys over there, and this guy. Right there. So yes, very good experience in these exploratory Farportals. I've already gone up a quarter of my bar. I'll probably go up at least half just from this dungeon alone. Apparently this guy is a skirmisher or an archer type guy, so we are going to try to just quickly decimate him before I move on to go after some of these guys. Oh, that guy actually disarmed me there. Ouch. Probably don't need to put on the barrier here, so I'll just do that. Jump on him. There's the way out of his level right there. Okay, there's a skeleton mage out in the distance over there. I passed at least a couple summoning alarms, so we'll go to them. There's a mage hunter that popped out. That's not going to be fun. Yoink. Oh, crappy spawns this time around. Very crappy spawns. They're out and dealt with. That's it for level 2 of Tazar, the Farportal dungeon I'm in. Don't really care about this. We got Corrupt over there. We've got a couple of mages down here. So I want to basically do this. We want to basically hit up this. Stun him immediately. Rush down there immediately. Do that immediately. We're just going to teleport ourselves back up to here. Alright, that's it for that little entrance into here. Let's look around and see what's going on. So I see those guys there. Okay, we got this guy here. He's a rare luminescent horror. He'll be fun. Oh! Okay, so this is probably one of those good combinations sort of to make note of. This is the unique of this level. It's a Ruined Banshee unique. Sometimes you'll get like these, like, you know, more stronger type of monsters being unique, or the boss monster for these Farportal dungeons, and this is where it can actually kind of get dangerous. This guy could possibly be a little bit tougher because he's like a naturally stealth monster. He has a good chance of basically avoiding detection very easily from me. And as a result, he's probably going to cause problems. So we actually want to play this very carefully this time around. I'm going to basically come down here. Apparently got a rare vampire right there, buffled in. By the way, I can, use Shadow Step like that against, walls. There's a wall between my enemy and me, but I'm still able to hit him. This guy's just an Arcane Blade with Phantasmal Shield, so I want to be kind of careful of him. That guy's dead. I stopped myself because, I want to go back to this summoning alarm that I sort of passed right here. Okay, so these guys are somewhere over there. This is actually a good point where I can sort of like, dig right here. And we're basically just going to step right here. There's all these guys right here that, are sort of in the way, but I'm basically just going to rush there, do here. And that's like all them taken care of very easily. So very easy way to like sort of getting a jump on all those guys. So Unique is down here. We'll basically go this way. I'll be sort of careful walking toward these guys. Because, of that Ruined Banshee there. He might be able to see me here, so we're just going to kill these guys as they sort of funnel toward me. Okay, the rest of them didn't move, which is kind of nice, so I can mosey down here a little bit. So, by the looks of it, they're right there, all these guys. I guess how we're going to basically approach this sort of battle. I basically want to do a sort of a hit and run here. I want to basically jump in, maybe hit this guy with like, Windblade and then teleport out. So we're basically going to just, do that, just that. We're just going to activate all this stuff. We're actually going to Shadow Blade him. Do that. And yeah, basically I've been blinded constantly here, but we teleport out. So the Ruined Banshee is up and running around. I want to watch out for this guy because of the fact that he's a ghost, so he can just run through the walls. But I've already injured him quite a bit, so this will be like a sort of an effective way. And note that he's basically trying to use off his Necromancer talents there. He's a Necromancer Ruined Banshee, basically. Just going to heal up here. And we're just going to see where he's run off to. He's apparently still right here. Oh. I got cursed there, so well, someone cursed me, but alright, the Ruined Banshee's around me somewhere. Oh, he's right there. He's basically, this is where he goes. So basically he's having a good chance to sort of like avoid my detection gaze, so to speak. And as a result, he's basically, hiding from me. This is where, like, this guy's a little bit tougher, and thus he's a little bit more challenging to sort of fight. activate this. We're going to basically burn these guys, rush them. What the heck keeps blinding me? So let's just look at what's going on here. So I lost sight. I think what's happening, this Rune Banshee has some sort of weapon that's making it so I constantly lose sight whenever I get basically hit by him. And as a result, he's basically, whenever he basically melee attacks me, he's got something to cause me to lose sight. Of course, he's out of the way now, so that's done. So that's one boss out of the way. That got me at least up to half of what I need to get, what I desire for my character. I want to get up to at least level 47, level 48. There's at least halfway to minimum what I want for this episode. So 3 more dungeons and I'll probably be around level 48, which will be very good for this character. This is a nice belt here, but I think we prefer a little bit better than it. And this other stuff doesn't really interest me all that much, so we'll basically sell it all, I think. Look for... I'm actually going to keep this just so I can show it off. So I just picked up a helmet type of thing that's got something very special on it. It's basically this helmet called Omniscience. It basically has something that basically reveals the terrain around you. So we're just going to maybe show that off. So rush. Alright, looks like we've got ourselves some demons for this this instance. Oops, got pinned there. Alright, so if I use this item, and I apparently have to wear it to use it, so wield, and it's still recharging. I'm just going to let it recharge then, up to 26 turns. This one right down here. So this helmet, what it can do, it basically lets you reveal the terrain around you. This can be kind of useful if you basically are like, try and map out the area instead of like, get the jump on where all the guys are. I don't usually think much of this like helmet, just for that ability, but it's useful if like you want to like be really tactical and like your surroundings and all that and make use of it. Technically, this is also a little bit better than my current one too, because all this one does is just protect my gives me better resistances. This actually this is actually worth using over this one. We'll actually keep this on for now. I don't really care much for this, but the ability to sort of like scout the terrain a little bit with it and get confusion immunity is actually going to make just push off a little bit over the top. All right, so what's going on? So basically, that first helmet thing just let me see the terrain around me, and when I use track here, I can basically see where the monsters are. So the combination of these two basically let me map out a whole lot better. The type of enemies in this Farportal instance apparently that have been generated for me are going to be as a, sort of described at the top there, demon type enemies. We've also got a bunch of oozes, and we got a bunch of orcs. Mostly like mage hunter orcs, those archer orcs. Could be a nature pride type of theme maybe going on, or it could just be like archers. And now this type of setup, by the way, this is like the same as like the Heart of the Gloom setup. So it's basically going to be a big room with all these like little branchy rooms all over the place. This room's going to be very dangerous in here, just because of the fact that it's basically an open room with the most guys that'll be in it. I probably want to take out one of these guys first, so we'll do that. Note that I can still see these guys with track, so track's basically letting me see these guys even though I've got surrounded by darkness here. We're going to get rid of all that. I'm going to basically do that to get rid of all them. So even though he's using magical darkness over the place, I can still see the bastard and kill him. Note that these guys weren't able to see me, because, you know, that magical darkness, you know, it works both ways. They can't see through it, I think. They can blind fire through it, but that's about as good as it gets from. Alright, these are definitely Nature Pride orcs that are being summoned in this instance, so that's the theme that's basically going on for the orcs here. They're basically nature themed, as opposed to blood themed or necromancer type themed. Kill you, and I wouldn't mind rushing to this guy, but he's sort of, you know, behind all these other guys, especially these guys here. Let's do that. Just make sure I'm close enough to do this. And they're all dead. So this is like how you can sort of abuse track, basically, to kill off enemies. If you have blindside type abilities like that Shadow Step, and I'll note that I say blindside because there's basically a special ability that is known to the cursed class that they can use to sort of, like, you know, get the jump on enemies like this. But basically you attack from nowhere on these guys. Okay, they're out of the way. Magical darkness there, but whatever. So that's the first level of this Farportal instance out of the way. This one will be kind of quicker because it's sort of smaller and constrained. But still going to be a good run to go through. Okay, none of this stuff really interests me, so sell it all. If I do a track again, guys down there. Rare. Unique. Okay, so this time we've got ourselves a unique devourer to sort of contend with. This guy is a gloomy curse type of enemy with archmage type talents. So we've got archmage curse right there. I'm gonna have fun dealing with. So let's do track basically constantly in here. So this is the big room right here, and this is where it can be kind of dangerous because I've got basically this guy here and this guy right there and along with all these other guys around. So something I can actually do in here to sort of like make myself a little bit, you know, more likely to survive this encounter. These walls are of course diggable, so we're just going to dig this way. And scout. Alright, so looks like these guys over here I should probably deal with first, maybe. If I'm going to go for like a tactical type of instance of a survive this type of encounter. I don't think these guys over here can specifically see me. I could also go after the unique right away. That's also worth doing. But if I go after unique, then the problem with going after him is that he'll be moving around and he'll just make it, you know, a whole lot more difficult to sort of deal with. So we're just going to go up to here to his Duffelden. And we're just going to Shadow Step him to death. Note that I sort of, you know, got the light review and all that, so basically this is one of a few ways to get rid of the Duffelden's darkness. Those Duffeldens, they basically, you know, they magically use darkness and it basically uncovers the terrain constantly. You won't be able to see in it. But if you basically have, like, you know, abilities like this thing from here, and a couple other equipment, you can basically get rid of it. Alright, we're basically just going to jump in here with full power. I'm going to basically jump on you. We're going to let this guy get close and basically deal with him. So now as a result, there's only these guys here and these guys in the big room down here. Because I've basically, you know, got these guys to start contending with, it's going to be kind of difficult to go after this guy without taking out this lot first. So what we're going to do is we're basically just going to go over here. That guy's a Wormic by the looks of it, and this guy's a Mind Slayer. I'm not sure which of these guys is more dangerous, but we'll go after this guy here, I guess. Just because he's probably the weaker of the two, and I can probably get rid of him before this guy's anything to do, you know, as a result. So basically his blind side here. We're basically going to activate this now, activate this. I'm going to do Windblade to kill these guys. Hit you in the face. So use track there, by the way, so I can see this guy. So he's invisible, but because I'm tracking him, it doesn't really matter. I know he's there. Alright, so at this point we've only got the Unique and his buddies up here to really contend with. What we're going to do, I'm basically just going to get really close to him with, like, digging. Do that, why not? Do this. Doink, 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 doink. We're going to go right on this guy as fast as humanly possible for his character. Just, you know, wipe him out as fast as I possibly can. He wasn't too tough, but you don't want to give these guys any chance to sort of kill you. You never know when you're going to run into that one monster that's going to cause you problems, basically. It's a noble thing to note. So, not that much experience in this specific dungeon. Only got, you know, about 30% on top of, like, you know, what I had before. So, very quick instance. Hello. That's a good pair of boots. Yeah, I want to wear these boots for sure. That's just an awesome pair of boots. That gives me a whole lot of resistances and stuff. Silence immunity, confusion immunity, stun freeze immunity, knockback, pinning, blindness. Gives me quite a bit to work with on that one little thing. This is nice for the light radius. So we don't need this anymore. I wasn't really using the rush ability that it had. So that's all dealt with. Note that this energy here keeps going down. Every time I use the Farportal, I'm basically losing 50 energy stored from here. So there's only a hard cap of so many times I can basically use the Farportal before it breaks. And once it breaks, it basically, you know, I can't go back in it. But while we basically have access to it, I can keep going back and forth into it. I'll note, by the way, if you use the Shelter Fortress Exploratory Farportal at least 7 times, you get an achievement on this, you know, for the same character. It's not really a big thing to really mention, but it's worth mentioning. This dungeon layout. I'll note that this is a very old dungeon layout that I don't think is used in the game because apparently enemies have a problem of pathing through it. It's basically a Shadow Crypt layout. This used to be the old maze type of layout where, you know, it's basically an old maze type of, like, you know, idea. But they took it out because enemies were having problems running around through it. With shades, they could just run through the walls, but enemies, like normal enemies that have to sort of obey walls, they'd have problems with it. So that's why they basically, you know, fixed it, so to speak, by removing the walls. I'm not sure what to make of the enemies here. It looks like we've got some spellcasting orcs popping up here and there. An orc cryomancer was there, but he used the door to sort of get away. And I think I know where he is. I'll note that if you see trapped, and your character won't purposely run over it unless he has to get, by it. By, going over it. The pathing is fairly good in this game for avoiding stuff like that from happening. There's a Breath of Maj'Eyal. That's an anti-magic armor. Oh, there's a cryomancer somewhere. There was a cryomancer somewhere. So these are definitely spellcaster orcs in this theme of the dungeon later, I guess. Popping out. It looks like minor demons are also a sort of theme of this dungeon. So minor demons are basically like these fire imps here. Those like brown little demons there that are like, capable of guarding the case that's right here. Rexlings, they're another minor type of demon. So picked up that, pick up... Wow, here's the Breath of Maj'Eyal. That's basically what it does. It's an arcane disrupting force item, so I won't be using it, but I know if you went anti-magic, this would be an awesome armor to use. It basically gives you resistances to everything, including arcane. So this is actually probably one of the best armors for anti-magic type users to use. Without a doubt. So zap, zap. Note that the track's area is a whole lot longer than the vision area, basically from the hat. So I can see into the darkness a little bit farther track than I can with the vision area thing here. It looks like we're going to have at least a couple more levels to go through here. I saw at least one multi-hued dragon I'll have to watch out for. I haven't had to contend with too many of those multi-hued dragons, which is a good thing because they're annoying. Okay, we got a fire imp somewhere. Wasn't close enough to hit this guy. Now I am. It's definitely a nice thing being able to shadow step through walls. So, another forest giant. Unlike before though, this guy doesn't look like he's going to be as tough because he's not as high level as the past ones I fought, so he's out of the way already. Let's do this temporarily so I can see who's running around and where. There's a bunch of venom drakes down here. I don't know where that fire imp that was around went, so... That's probably him right there. Before I forget, I should probably open up these things right here. You should probably go through these, like, you know, summoning traps to sort of set them off while you're going through these dungeons, unless you're really good at, like, you know, remembering where their positions are. I don't try to, like, you know, sound like I'm capable of remembering where all these guys are going to be. And I'm basically trying to pick up the experience, right, from going through all the guys in here. So the guys from the summoning traps do count as experience, so I want to go through them just as much as I want to go through the other guys. Okay, there we go. I think that was the last one of these, like, you know, traps. Okay, the multi-hued dragon's just on the other side here. I probably want to... I actually want to probably take him out as quickly as possible right now. So we're actually going to... I note that I basically can't reach him because he's flanked on all sides of him. But what I can do to sort of start off the battle, I can basically sidestep this guy and do that. And now he's out of the way already. And that leveled me up. So there's level 47. Healing Light is already up to 5/5, so I now got this massive, nice little, or I wouldn't say massive heals. This is a nice little quick heal to make use of whenever I'm in trouble. We've almost got our magic stat up to 60, so once I basically have this up to 60, along with the fact that this is going to be boosting my spell power cunning, if you recall from Shao Cunning. So Shao Cunning basically boosts up my spell power equal to my cunning. This is giving me more spell power, this is giving me more spell power, this is giving me more defense. So basically more spell power equals more defense for Blur Sight. So I'm basically getting 34 defense now from Blur Sight. I'm getting defense from this, so I get 51 defense from dual wielding. Suffice to say, if I just go to my defense here, I basically have 78 defense. I've almost got 80 defense on this character, so getting to 80 defense is like really high to sort of get up to. I can boost it up, you know, more, but that's just through natural means. The other ways of possibly doing it would probably be make use of like evasion here. Using evasion would boost up my defense for like, you know, 8 turns. And that, well, this is a great thing to sort of use. It's only temporary. Well, as opposed to sort of just having it all the time. I have it all the time, so to speak. I realized I could just, you know, cured that stun, but whatever. The rest of these guys aren't going to be too tough, I don't think, so. Just, you know, march over here, kill these guys there. I should probably take this, or I should probably note that I've actually, you know, got another wand. I should probably put on my hotbar key. I'm just gonna move this here. Someone I noted in one of the recent episodes I basically uploaded. I've got the Rod of Exploratory Poison, and I think I've already said this, but I can use this like in this rod whenever I really want to. So this is a magic item that doesn't require me to equip it to use. I can use it whenever I damn well feel like it. So along with like the burning thing there, I can use like the spider poison to sort of kill stuff. So like say I drop it on him, and basically he's hit with spider poison, so he'll basically suffer from spider poison each turn, taking some nature damage. Apparently didn't die from it, but it hurts him quite a bit. I'll try and actually kill someone with it just to sort of show off how powerful it is, but it's basically useful for pinning stuff. It's the main thing what it does. So yoink, yoink. Another level of this Terminer Exploratory Farportal that was generated for me. I don't see any uniques popping up, so it looks like we're gonna have another sort of, you know, level after this, a 4th level of this exploratory instance. I'll note that I can make use of blindside to go through walls to kill these guys quicker if I want to. So that guy hit me from all the way up there. Because I was able to track him, it didn't matter if he ran away from me. They're all dead. Summon these guys, pop them off, a little bit more experience. Pop that guy. Yoink, yoink. Pop this guy out of nowhere. A devastating talent blindside is when you combine it with something like track. Let's go after you. That guy's moving around, so we're going to hit him next. Kill that Spire Dragon. Kill that guy. Oh, that guy survived the first shot. There's the way I have the level right over there. You probably didn't see it because it blends in with the sand, but there's the exit of the level right there. It's basically the same terrain type as the, like, you know, the terrain, so to speak, the exit, so it's kind of hard to see, but it is there. And last level. There's never, you know, more than 4 levels in these exploratory instances, so we're gonna basically fight this unique here. It's basically an Orc Master Assassin. Luckily, he is not the Grandmaster Assassin, but he's still going to be trouble. He basically looks like Strength of Purpose, Assiduous Poison. This guy looks like he's going to be a Temple Warden type of class. And ooh, he's an archer. He's an archer Temple Warden, I think. Or wait, Temple Wardens have archery abilities. Actually, might be an archer. I'm not sure. He's a Temple Warden for sure, but he basically has what looks like other talents that are thrown in. He could be he's just a Temple Warden Paradox Mage, but it might also be an archer. It's kind of hard to tell, but he's basically one of those classes, along with being a Temple Warden, or perhaps he's a Paradox Mage Archer. A scary thought. Boink, boink. Here's guys at high pyromites right there. who's now dead. Just mapping my way, you know. You know. He's kind of separate from people, but do I want to go straight at him? Probably not. So let's go after maybe this guy here. I'm going to basically kill him quickly before he has a chance to do anything. Kill these guys. I think he's alone enough that we can basically jump on him. So, dink, 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 dink. And he's out of the way. So, he wasn't too tough. I basically get to run around now, killing off the rest of the stuff. The rest of the stuff won't be tough. Alright, looks like we've explored the level. There's actually one summoning trap over here I basically want to get to and pop these guys. I'm not sure if there's one out here too, so we'll just basically do this and this. Doesn't look like there's one up here that I'm missing, so I'll say that was enough for this specific run. There's a lot of stuff I can use to sort of increase my penetration to physical. It's actually making me wonder, actually. What I think about doing, because I'm finding, like, you know, physical resistance penetration equipment, the thing about my my like prodigy choice that I'm sort of like pondering here, the reason that I'm basically just gonna get rid of all this stuff. I'm basically pondering between getting Arcane Might here or Temporal Form. The thing about Temporal Form is that it'll give me, on top of like the fact that all my damage will be converted to temporal damage, I'll also gain 20% temporal resistance penetration. So basically, I convert all my damage to temporal, and then I also get at least 1/5 of it going through to the enemy, regardless of what all resistance they have. I basically have an option here. I can use the pick of the Dwarven Emperors here, which would increase my penetration by 10 for physical. I got this thing here that basically increases it by 14%. So these together would be able to increase my damage penetration against the bosses because they have very high physical resistance. And I could use them to sort of like deal with, you know, their penetration, or the penetration issues with them. I'm just going to look through all my other stuff to see what type of penetration they might carry. So basically right now my character, he has a lot of physical penetration. I don't think it's showing up anywhere, sadly, but it's there basically. And oh, here it is. So basically 14% from this deep belt. And then if I look over here as well, they basically have the penetration for all the other stuff. The thing then is that I normally want to make sure one of my physical, like, you know, my physical damage or your temporal damage is high. If I can get the physical damage high enough, then I'll just switch over to using Arcane Might for a Prodigy. And yeah, I might just do that just for my character, so to speak, in the final fight. Now, I guess at this point we've gone through these dungeons 3 times over. So you've probably seen me do this enough. Before I go, I'm basically just going to show this off because I'm not probably going to come back here. You basically have this option to use like a training room here. The training room basically is like this sort of like damage calculator type of thing. So create one target dummy. And you'll basically get this like training dummy which you can beat on. I'm actually going to make this training dummy change resistance. We're going to give him 50% all resistance because this is actually similar to the boss. This guy's now got 50% resist all. And I don't know what the armor is, but let's just say we'll give him 100 armor. We'll give him 100 armor. So I guess I gave him 100% armor resistance and 100% armor hardness. Yeah. So basically he's got... Right now this guy's got 100% armor hardness and he's got 100% armor. So he'll basically reduce 100 damage each time I hit him. And I can basically use this to sort of test out what I'm basically doing when I'm going to basically hit this guy. So naturally, if I put on the Dwarven Pick of the Emperors, I'm just going to make sure none of this other stuff lets me penetrate physical a little bit better. So when I'm basically naturally hitting this guy, you basically get like, you know, the turns you basically hit him. So you get a sort of breakdown of your total damage and damage per turn. So I'm basically hitting this guy at 279 damage per turn. So I'm just going to hit him naturally each turn for a few times. So hitting this guy 15 turns over, I'll do about 4,000 damage over 15 turn period of this natural attacks. I'll basically do around 278 damage per hit, per turn rather. These are all the damage types I basically hit with. So I basically did about 24% darkness damage. I did about 34 physical damage when I was basically hitting this guy. I also did like, you know, a little bit of light and mind and cold and all that. So these are like all the damage types I'm hitting with. If I use temporal form, this will all be converted to temporal damage, and I basically using like 20% you know, physical damage to sort of like, you know, beat this guy down. So the thing I'm basically having to think here is how much like sort of like, you know, damage am I going to basically get if I basically up my physical penetration and maybe like darkness or mind if I find something. And I think I might actually be doing decent. So basically this gives me 10% mind penetration when I'm using this. So that's actually, you know, nobly decent. If I use this, by the way, I don't need this anymore, this hat. Don't know why I still have it. See, I'm just looking at all the stuff I'm basically using here. So let's say I use this instead. This will basically convert my damage all the way to darkness like crazy. So if I use that to sort of hit this, but I can just like go here and reset it. We're basically going to do this again. Create one target dummy. Let's give this guy 50% all resistance again. We'll give him 100 again. I don't want you in here, Pumpkin. I don't think you'll survive if I have you in here. The stupid cat's getting in the way of my calculations, don't you know? Alright, so this guy's been reset. He's basically got 50% all resistance, 100 armor again. So I hit this now, I'm basically doing a little bit more darkness damage as a result whenever I hit the guy. So nobly, my darkness damage is now really what's doing, you know, most of the damage now. So 15 turns in, I did 300 damage per turn over, you know, 15 turns. 446 1 damage. Most of my damage this time around was darkness. A little bit mind still, mostly some physical in there, but this is basically what I'm sort of having to contend with. How much damage am I basically going to be basically penetrating against targets when I'm basically using these, like, you know, daggers and such. And apparently this actually uses strength, dexterity, and cunning. Interesting. So yeah, what maybe do I want to maybe pick up? If I basically pick up Arcane Might, just basically lets my magic stat be used for calculating damage on my weapons. So I might pick it up just to sort of like, boost up my dagger damage with like physical and darkness damage instead of like, picking up Temporal Form. If I pick up Temporal Form, this will be useful basically against the bosses because I'll basically convert all my damage to Temporal and have 20% Temporal penetration. I guess what we're going to do for my character is we're going to pick up Arcane Might. And I'll just basically do one more time, just showcasing what I'm basically going to do when I hit these guys. We're just going to reset him, one dummy. We're going to give him 50% resistance again. I'll give him the super hard armor, even though this is like not in reality going to basically be what I'm going to be like facing the bosses. So 1, 2. So this is the damage I'm doing now with Arcane Might on top of my things before. So basically I'm getting like 1,000 damage increase with my normal weapons, or 1,500 more or less. So basically I'm getting a lot more damage now, output, and a lot of it's like physical here. So that's like sort of what I'm basically going to be able to do against the bosses, lots and lots of damage, and against other stuff as well, by the way. I'll note, by the way, that probably a lot of that darkness damage I'm probably getting. That's from the dagger, so we'll actually move that off. Most of the damage is coming from shadow combat here. So basically every time I use shadow combat, I'm getting a little bit of extra darkness damage on guys I'm hitting with it. Which is useful. Though this will be more useful to pick up for now. I might pick up a little bit of shadow speed soon, feed soon, just so I can increase my attack speed further. There's so many ways you can basically boost your character's attack speed on a Shadow Blade. If I look at my character right now, my movement speed is 137, my global speed is 145. I basically almost have, every time I basically do 2 actions, or 3 actions, the enemy's only done 2, almost. A result of me basically having such high degree of being able to fend off attacks. Alright, at this point, my character's gone through all the dungeons that I plan to go through before going into High Peak. There is a little bit of content left that I could visit before I go to High Peak, but there's a high chance that I could die, and there's really no reason that I have to. So we're going to basically just avoid the Cigarette Patrol. Next time, I'm going to basically go through to Last Hope here, and we're going to do one more character development episode, and I'm just going to basically sort of give you a rundown on what my character is going to be sort of aiming to do at this point at level 47, and what basically we're basically going to do to prepare ourselves for High Peak, and also break down like what everything else I've done, making my character strong and all that. For now, take care. Hope you've enjoyed. See you guys in the next episode.